I was supposed to bring, first of all, I was supposed to bring captains here. Then I was told that it would interfere with sales to these theaters that, I think there are a couple in Toronto that are, or more than a couple, that are going to show the captains in a few weeks, and they said you can't bring the film. So I said, all right, well then can I bring a 3-minute clip? And they said, well, bring the 3-minute clip. So I said to somebody, send the 3-minute clip. Guess what? There's no 3-minute clip. I know. I said the same thing. Oh, you're fired. So that's what I said. So there's no clip, there's just me. All right? Now, very good. So now, next thing is, you're going to die when I tell you this. I've done a new record. Right? This new record is either awesomely stupid or stupidly awesome. It's gigantic. There are 20 world-class musicians, including Brad Paisley, Sheryl Crow, Lyle Lovett, and a host of great musicians, instrumental musicians. The hosts are so many, and I don't have the list in front of me. It doesn't matter. The record will be dropped, as they say on the record business, October 20th, October the 11th. So on October the 11th, this monumental record, of which I think is incredible, unless you guys laugh at it, and then it's not incredible. But it's like I guess like having a baby, you know. Well, imagine the mother says, "Oh, here's my new," oh my God, I don't like that thing. You know, imagine. There must be mothers who say, "That's the ugliest baby I ever saw," and that must happen. So the baby's about to be born, and you want to say, "Here's my baby, the most beautiful baby in the world," and you want to meet it, you know. But I think it is. I think the record is stupefying. It's so good. But you don't know until you say, "I love the record." Then I say, "Oh gosh, you love the record. That's great." So the record drops on October the 11th, and I don't know whether you know this music or not, but I think like Bohemian Rhapsody. Do you remember Bohemian Rhapsody? Yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody in a new way. And you remember that guitar solo in Bohemian Rhapsody? Some great musician whose name I can't recall, does it? I don't want anyone to know that. I gotta get the list in front of me before I start talking about the musicians. But it's a great record, and it's on the 11th. Now, also, a new book. On the 4th of October, just before the record, a book called Shatner Rules. A play on that word, and it's funny, and everybody's delighted with it who's read it. And again, it's like a baby. I'm proffering it to you on October 4th, a week before the record, so they're basically the same time. A book and a record are coming out there, and I'm so proud of both of them. And I'm half holding back because so many times people who do entertainment say, "Well, I think I've got something really entertaining for you," and then the critics say, "Well, that's the worst thing I've ever heard," and you want to crawl into a shell. And then people talk about how bad it is, and then you don't come out of your shell for a year. So if it's good, you're going to love it, and you'll hear me waving at you. And if you don't like it, I'll never come back to Toronto again. No, I don't mean that. You'll like it or you won't like it, and I'll pray that you do. All right, the next thing is, we've got a game coming out there. Unbelievable. Soon a game is going to appear, and an iPhone app. An iPhone app, folks! Come on! It's unbelievable. And the last thing is, I told you about the film in Las Vegas. March of Dimes. I've covered it all. All right, so that's what I'm doing. Let me hear what you want to talk about. Who's got a mic? Wait a minute. There's an organization here that I got to follow. Has anybody got a mic? Or we don't do mics? Okay, we don't do mics. What do you want? You.
What do you want?
Nice and loud. Yes. Lifetime. Can you all hear him? In light of your Lifetime Achievement Award, yes.
How has that affected your own perception of aging, and has it increased your interest in creating mentorships?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. How has that affected my concept of aging and mentorship? Well, that's a really good question. Lifetime Achievement. I accepted the Lifetime Achievement Award that they gave me in Ottawa. We all went up there. I got my sisters who live in Montreal and don't get out much, you know. I mean, Canadians are we're so quiet and we're such good people for the most part. We are. Canada's a great nation. We all know that, don't we? I mean, Canada's a great nation. And we have Canadian traits. Like, like we say, please don't march into Poland. Thank you for stopping that killing. I mean, it's unbelievable how polite. So my sisters are like that, and they just do their thing in Montreal. So I asked them to come to Ottawa, where I had worked as a young actor. Golly, so many years ago, I graduated from McGill and went directly. That year I graduated, went to Ottawa and worked at the Canadian Repertory Theatre, which I think is long gone, for 3 years, and then went on to Stratford. I know you clapped at Stratford, but didn't do a thing for Ottawa. I don't understand. And so I had remembered Ottawa. It had been a long time since I was back, and I'd written a song actually, which is on a record prior to the ones that were going to be released, called Has Been. And I wrote a song. Thank you. 4 people bought it. Big sales. Go get it. It's a really interesting record. But don't get it before you get the new one. But I wrote a song called It Hasn't Happened Yet. And in it I sought to express the fact that success is always just beyond you. That's one of the things about aging, as an answer that I'll get to. That success is always just beyond. Maybe it should be. It is for me. It hasn't happened yet. And the first line is, I thought as the Carillons sang their song, and I was thinking of the Carillons in the Peace Tower, where the Canadian Repertory Theatre was down the street from the Peace Tower. And there was a giant lawn that used to be there. I don't think it's there now. I think it's built up now. But I used to cross from at night when, I'm so moved talking about that period of time. I'm really welling up. Either that or my eyes are red from the dust. And I used to come from the Canadian Repertory Theatre, little theatre, and cross the lawn in the middle of the winter, because that was when the season was. And the ground was sparkling with snow, and the Carillons were singing at midnight, so they would strike the midnight hour, and I crossed on my way to, do they still have Murray's? No, huh? Murray's was like you get the cheapest food in Murray's, and that's where I could eat. I could afford to eat because the Canadian Repertory Theatre were paying nothing, really. So I would eat at Murray's down, and I'd cross the lawn, and the Carillons would sing, and I thought back when I started the song, thinking it didn't happen then, and it hasn't happened yet. So what is old age? What does age teach you? That if you're healthy, success is just beyond your grasp. My success will be if you like the book, if you like the record. I'm going to do a one-man show. I'm going to cross Canada from Vancouver to Montreal, in every city, in October. In October. The record, the book drops, the record drops, and I do a one-man show, all in the month of October. And I'll be in Toronto, I think, at the end of October or the 1st of November, November 3rd or something like that, 2nd, something like that, early November. And I'll be in one of the big theaters here. I forgot the name of the theater. Though I say that again. I'm going to be in Massey Hall on the 3rd. Do we know each other? Have I ever seen you before? Oh, you're my mother. Excuse me. No, we've never seen each other, and you know November 3rd, Massey Hall. Okay. So I'm doing the one-man show. If that's successful, because I did it in Australia, and they loved it. They sometimes stood and applauded. I want you to remember that. And so I'm going to do a one-man show. If that's successful, then maybe then I'll grasp success. But success is always just beyond your grasp. Maybe it should be that way because you keep striving. Otherwise, it seems to me, if you say, well, I got the Lifetime Achievement Award, I must be successful. What I said in my speech to thank the Governor General about the award, I said, there are certain things that I can't quote it exactly, but the thrust of it was, I'll take this thing as this award and put it on my shelf to remind me of the things I have yet to achieve. Yeah, like I said, I haven't achieved immortality yet. They got a bigger laugh there than it did here. And yeah, the Governor General fell out of his chair, actually. But then he might have fallen out of his chair anyway. He was Governor General and I wasn't. And it's an inside joke. There's people that wanted me as a joke to run as Governor General. You mean it wasn't a joke? General. What should I do? Come on, tell me. What? Huh? Mentor. Mentor what? What should I mentor? Actors and entrepreneurs, to mentor them. Does mentoring mean giving them money? I should give money to every actor. Yes, there's an actor. And every entrepreneur should receive a large sum of money from a check from me. I'm not going to be Governor General for that. Are you kidding me? What does a Governor General do? You know what he does? One of the things he does? He welcomes the King and Queen. I don't want to welcome the King and Queen. This is an independent country. I'm tired of it. As a kid in Montreal, I remember the King George V, right? The 5th and 6th? One of the Georges came to Montreal. I remember running across a park to see him twice. Why did I do that? We became independent sometime after that. I'm happy. I don't want to do that. What else does a Governor General do? What should I do if I were Governor General? What? Drink? I can manage that. Anyway, I thought it was